We've actually lost over 90% of our wetlands in the last century. With things like climate change, increasing temperatures, and the potential for future loss of coastal wetlands, our inland wetlands are becoming more and more important. At Skylarks, our original involvement was with a much smaller site across the road from this particular location, where we're really excited to be involved in what we believe was the first ever wheelchair accessible nature reserve in the UK. And we've always striven to ensure that our reserves are as accessible as possible. It's not always very easy or practical on large sites, but here at Skylarks in 2014 we had the opportunity to expand the reserve considerably, and we took that sort of ethos through our planning and design for the extended reserve, which now covers just under 50 hectares. So quite a sizable site, very close to the city, accessible to a lot of people. And what we've done is we've enhanced the habitats on site when we purchased this area, locally known as Blots Pit. We've actually created a whole series of shallows, islands, sort of fingers and spits to create more habitat for the wading birds, the birds that feed at the edges of the lagoons, and just to create that diversity so we get a mix of different plants on the different levels. And we've got extensive areas of reed bed here, which is one of the most threatened habitats in the county and the country. In addition to nature, one of my other passions in life is real ale, and we were once having a conversation with one of our suppliers who knew Chris Holmes at Castle Rock, and I was just talking about an idea I had about possibly creating some wildlife beers to actually support the work of the Wildlife Trust. He arranged a meeting with Chris, and we met at the Victoria over in Beeston, and Chris was behind the idea right from the off. So from a very small idea came a very long-standing partnership, and it's been so exciting and great to work with Castle Rock over the last 20 years.
Being involved in the environment is at the core of what we do, and we recognise that a lot of the things that we do impact on the environment negatively. Therefore, if we can be aware of what that impact is and the causes behind it, we can change our behaviours and invest further to sort of for tomorrow's society.
Here at Skylarks, we've done a lot of re-landscaping to create the features to give us that mix of habitats for the wildlife. But ongoing work is our real challenge. We have a sort of a battle year on year to keep the islands clear, to keep the shallows from becoming overgrown with trees and scrub. And that's the work we find very difficult to generate income for, and that's why we've launched our Wetlands for Wildlife appeal. To keep these sites great for wildlife year on year is really important. There's no point investing the resources in creating the habitat if we can't manage it going forward.
If we don't continue to manage our wetlands in Nottinghamshire, they are at risk of drying out. You have this invasive scrub, so willow and things that come up that need to be cleared every year, and to ensure that the wetlands stay wet and are feeding grounds and nesting grounds.
As Erin said, it goes back the other side of 20 years when we met up in the garden at the Victoria at Beeston over a beer, and that was simply just to start a one-off beer to start with, but clearly it's grown from there. We've done probably over 100 different beers for the Wildlife Trust over the years, and a very worthwhile partnership, and probably more deeply than that, a good friendship as well.
As the relationship evolved, we'd started off with the individual species beers, but then sort of relating to the current appeal, the Wetlands for Wildlife appeal, that partnership then merged. We then had a series of 4 beers focusing on some of our key nature reserves. It did include a number of the wetland sites,
yes.
And that was a good opportunity for us to utilise the relationship with Castle Rock to put the value and importance of our nature reserves across the county in front of your customers as well. So again, just another way in which we've tried to use the partnership to sort of spread the message about what it is we do and why we do it. And so that support for those nature reserve beers is one of my fond memories as well. Our relationship with Castle Rock over the last 20 years has been really important to our fundraising, and they've backed a number of our appeals, and we're really delighted that they're supporting our Wetlands for Wildlife appeal, and it's great to see everybody here this evening. The event with the special brew through the pilot project, the quiz, and just everybody getting together to celebrate nature whilst raising funds for our vital year-on-year work is really exciting. All I can say is on behalf of ourselves and Castle Rock, we hope you're having an absolutely wonderful evening. Thank you for your support so far. Hope the beer's tasting great. Do buy raffle tickets and do support us in the auction, because every pound really does count.